What's everybody? It's a beautiful Friday. Kicking back, having a couple beers, just celebrating life, man. Life's good. I think this weekend I got to start trying to get away from the desk, man. It's a huge thing I have to work on is getting away, right? Resetting. Not, I still put in a ton of work. 9 years later, I'm still working like I don't have it figured out. I mean, I don't have it all figured out ever, but I still work like I just started, and I need to start walking. I need to start living a little bit more. So this is the last night. I'm promising myself that I'll start trying to have a life. Yeah. So, I'm going to basically go over some top opportunities of 2024. Basically, a big year review of some of the best trades and opportunities. Mind you, I'm probably going to miss some. So, this is not all of them, but this is a majority of the top opportunities of the year for me. Not everybody, for me. So, we'll start with the large cap exhaustion short. We have a pretty good. This is the year for these, and we've had a lot of them. We've had a lot of really good ones. So we'll go over them. And we'll go one by one. So we got. Start with the beginning. Let's do whatever we can. Right? It's not going to be in order. It's not organized. It's just trade by trade. So Nvidia 6/6/2024. This was a huge opportunity. This is a not an everyday type of opportunity, but it's good to identify, right? Get that breakout. Of course, this is going to give me issues. One second, bear with me, please. Get that breakout. No. We get that breakout right here. Continuation euphoric gap, right? Same thing. The large cap exhaustion short, you get that nice extension, you get that multi-day run, and then you get that euphoric gap. And that's what we had here. Obviously, this is now a split. This was not at this current price. It was a lot more. They had what kind of split did they have? They had a 10-to-1 split. So, yeah. So we'll go into the trade. So 6/6. So what happened here, right? So we basically get that huge kind of breakout. This is extension. On this, this market cap, this is huge extension. Beautiful, beautiful trade. It's an incredible opportunity. So it gapped up from here, euphoric gap. I usually like that morning squeeze out. When it failed view up, I shorted up in here, right? You could add into your winner. So it breaks low a day. It's confirming your thesis. Add into it, cover some. You could add back into that pop because the thesis is red. It should stay red on the day. So you should either get a retest of the morning lows or sometimes it breaks the lows. And very easy trade. It was a beautiful trade. A lot of hype. The sector had a lot of hype. It still does have a lot of hype. So, we had this breakout, extension, euphoric gap, short. A+ trade. It was a very nice trade. We're just going to skim through them, right? We're not going to go crazy. We're not going to put too much time on them. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to think. We got another one on this as well. Nvidia right here, same thing. This is in March. This was the better one in my opinion. They're both good. Right, breakout, continuation, euphoric gap. Right, you get that little shakeout. You get that trap. They trapped a lot of shorts, and this is what you wanted. You want that euphoric push, break down, break low a day, add into the winner, goes red. Short the bounce, retest lows or new lows. All right, same thing over and over again. We got SMCI. SMCI was also a nice one this year. This was a great opportunity for everybody. If you were prepared for it. If not, it's never late. You're never too late to prepare for the next one. So, we had that breakout, continuation, euphoric gap. And really, it's just the same thing over and over again. You want that squeeze out, fail view up, short, add low a day or something like that. Structure the trade to add into it. This one you never got to bounce. You could have technically rode this continuation pattern down, considering it was still off of its daily 8 EMA mean. So you had more meat on the bone. So if it's continuing, you have room to the downside. And this was a beautiful trade as well. We've had a ton of these. I mean, we've had some serious potential growth names this year where there's some really good probability trades. Really, really good probability trades. We had this one here too, right? Breakout, continuation, euphoric gap. This one's not as clean, but closed at 27.41. Low is 27.40. So it never went red. So green, euphoric gap. And, what did it do? It didn't really do the fade the day of, but on a swing, if you want to swing a couple shares, if it closes weak, it's closing weak, relative weakness is a good sign of continuation to the downside. We're still off the mean. The mean is the 8 EMA as well as the 15. So it's really saying the second mean, it's closing weak. It's a good signal of we're going to hit our second PT. So you could take some overnight. And that's what it did. It was a very nice trade. Same concept as Nvidia and same concept as SMCI, And we also had another one, TIGR, same exact concept. Another beautiful opportunity, right? It's just really, it's the same shit over and over again. It's not rocket science. There's not much to say about it. I'm not going to talk about the news. I'm not going to talk about what they do. I don't care about any of that. All I know is when there's news and things get, when we find discrepancies in the market and inefficiencies, more inefficiencies, there's opportunity. I don't care about the news. I just care about fighting for price. Up here, fighting for price. And it becomes a good short. Not long term, maybe, but in the short term, we could predict the pullback. Breakout, continuation, euphoric gap, right? So, and then look, it closes weak. You could cover some. I wouldn't recommend holding all overnight. There is somewhat a risk to holding overnight, but you could definitely hold some, right? Because a lot of times, more times than not, it goes back to that 8 EMA on the daily. So it's a good mean. And then from here, it really just does whatever it wants to do, right? Either it's going to go sideways for a couple weeks to a couple months and break out again, or it's going to completely fade. That is not something I focus on. So I really just focus on the predictable trade. And this was a good trade too. And, if we go to it, this was on 10-9. Was it 10-7, sorry. All right. You don't want a short weakness. You get right? They trap, squeeze out, same concept, right? Break lows, confirms, you add to the winner. Keep playing the trend, right? So this was also a very good trade. SOUN was also another one on 3/14, March 14th. SON was also another one, right? We get that breakout right here, right? Take consolidation, breakout, continuation, euphoric gap, volume, very nice. You don't short weakness, you let it go. Once it failed there, this was the one you have to get in really quick, unfortunately, right? You get right in, risk high a day. Then you could add into the winner, cover into weakness, short the pop, right? Cover back to lows, or if it breaks lows. MSTR was another exhaustion gap that we had this year. Beautiful, another great opportunity. This is comparable to Nvidia and SMCI in terms of just how, it couldn't be more perfect, right? So 11/21. 11/21. I mean, this just happened. We all remember it. It just happened. Right, breakout, continuation, euphoric gap. Right. Boom. I tried to do the squeeze out and failed. And I shorted here. Breaks down. You can add into the winner under low a day. Kind of builds like this triangle pattern. Once it starts breaking down, you can add into the winner. All right. At this point, it shouldn't reclaim this top of the range. You can short the pop, cover into the red move. A lot of times, when you get the red move, so say, this just dropped. When you play price action and price, this just dropped $55, okay? You're going to get a bounce, right? You got to add into the bounce. You're going to get a bounce. It's going to happen. It likely, when it drops like this, you're going to get a normal bounce. It's just how stocks trade. Sometimes they don't trade this and they just panic. But if they bounce, it's completely normal price action. You can add into the winner. You can move your stop down, right? And you can really start playing the range and cover some of the weakness. And then again, you can short the bounce, cover some here, and then try to go for the EMA if you want to. So, and you just play the chart, right? MSTX, we're not gonna go into it. It's literally the same exact thing. Attempted spike, failed, boom, boom. Same shit. They traded exactly the same. MSTX, MSTU, same thing, same exact thing. And DJT was on this day here, 10/29. It was not a perfect one, but it did give an opportunity the following day. So you get the breakout, right? You get the breakout continuation, and then you really get that euphoric gap, and that's what we want. And I was shorting right here once it failed. Jumped right in here. You have to be fast sometimes. And I was adding into this. Once it broke low a day, I added into the pop. Broke down here. I added right here. I covered a lot into the 15. This is like my first price target. And then what I did was I tried to add back into the bounce because a lot of times these close red. So when you could predict where the stock's likely to go by the end of the day and what the chart's going to look like and its expected value by the end of the day, you could play the chart a lot better in terms of adding. So when it bounced, I added into here, into the VWAP, but this one just didn't work. So I cut it, and I was still profitable. Then the following day, you get the first red day. All right, and then gap down, short that, risk red green, and boom, right to the 8 EMA. What else we got? OCEA was a good one this year, and this was a first red day, 3-6. I'm just going over the best opportunities, in my opinion. So OCEA, you get that green day, and then you really get that momentum shift the previous day, the big candle, big sign of temporary top, right? So big fail. The next day, morning panic, short a pop, risking highs, cover into the 15. Very simple trade. I wouldn't say it's a good trade. I wouldn't say it's an A+ trade just because, it didn't really give you that much time to add. So if you took a starter, you probably never got full size. But that being said, I still believe it was a good trade. Nexi was on 131. Same concept, right, guys? But first big momentum shift the previous day. Green, huge extension. Now we get that failed morning spike. Short the pop, risk high day. Makes new lows. You could add into this, and we failed. This is a very nice one. SERV. This was also a very nice one as well. 730. Right. Big extension. It trapped right here. Then we had a green day. And then we had that gap up day. And, you know, when you get this extension and it's really trappy, ideally you want it to trap in the morning, the day of the short, squeeze out, and then trade it. When it has shitty price action, likelihood is it's not just going to fall the day it finally does. It's going to probably look like it's going to fall, trap, and then you get the short. All right? You got to understand the chart, right? Choppy, shitty, trappy price action. So don't just expect it to just crash on you. Don't be early. Let the shorts on the day of the short get trapped, and then you get in. Right? And even if you didn't get in here, it really did give you an opportunity right here, and you could have risked right here once it started failing. So it did give you a good risk-reward trade later in the day. You really just kind of get this channel, and it really just said, all right, well, now it's over. All right? And it went red. First red day. Right? CZU was another one. Right here, 328. We had a lot of them in March, man. Right? Everything's market specific, right? So is what happens when people say they don't happen anymore. Well, in March, if you were prepared, you would have had a ton of them. Right? You could literally make your year in like 3 months. So I don't know. Several people. Breakout. Continuation, euphoric type of gap, right? We get that squeeze out, fail view up, short, right? Beautiful fucking trade. NAAS, mind you, write these down, write these down and go look at them in your spare time, man. Right? It's not really about, it's what you do with the information, right? Just because you have the knowledge doesn't mean, just having the knowledge is not enough. Right? We all have the knowledge. It's not the answer. What's going on here? 719. What is going on here? All right, come on. Same thing, right? Big extension, very trappy, euphoric gap. When it's trappy like that, what would we like to see? Well, we want to see that shorts get trapped. And that's what happened. It looked like it was an easy short. If you look at the price action, very trappy. Don't just think it's going to fail out the gate. Expect a trap before it fails. Trapped. And then you can short it. Let shorts get blown out. When they're not clean, don't expect a clean move right away on the short. Expect it to be trappy first and then fade. All right? It can keep you from being early, potentially. UMAC as well was another one from the other day. AMX, not that great. Just because AMX, the price action was kind of annoying. But another thing, right? Failed morning spike. Boom. We had GME. GME was obviously a great opportunity as well, right? Right here, that day 2 gap. We had AMC, day 2 gap. I mean, we had a ton of opportunities this year. And I hope it comes, stays. But yeah, take these charts, go back and review them. You should really start looking at top opportunities of the month, right, and start tracking them, because it comes a point in your career where you can be like, well, I make a lot of my money from doing this. Most of my money comes from just these, and you could understand when those things do come, you could push yourself and get out of your comfort zone a little bit. So it's good to know top opportunities and the easier trades and execute on those and really benefit off that. And in the meantime, just, size down and take the little scalps that people do. I don't do that, but In the meantime, do that. And then when the big money trade comes, you should be prepared. All right? Take care, guys.